Hello and welcome to Matador News. I'm Charne, Ingram.
And I'm Aracelly, Solis.
Attorney General Eric Holder says he will resign from his cabinet position as soon as his replacement can be found. He started in February 2009 and he's the 82nd Attorney General. An Obama administration official says he played a major role in civil rights and rights for the LGBT community. He also served as former President Bill Clinton's Deputy Attorney General. Holder is the first African-American to hold this position.
Iraq's Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi says his country's intelligence has uncovered a plot for an attack on subway systems in the U.S. and Paris. President Obama met with the Prime Minister at the United Nations General Assembly.
I'm confident that he's the right person to help work with a broad-based coalition of like-minded Iraqis and that they will be successful.
Al-Abadi says the plot is the work of ISIS and he is unsure if the attack is imminent. The news comes just a day after the governor of New York and New Jersey announced heightened security at mass transit centers. They say this was not the result of any new intelligence.
An American aid worker has just been released from a Nebraska hospital after being treated for the Ebola virus. Dr. Rick Sacra left the isolation unit at the Nebraska Medical Center after the Center for Disease Control cleared him. The 51-year-old contracted the virus while working in Liberia and says he may return to help.
But the outpouring of grace that I have experienced during my fight with Ebola has been especially generous.
Doctors say it is difficult to know what exactly helped Sacra fight off Ebola because of the large combination of treatments he received.
San Fernando Valley residents must take precautions as the West Nile virus continues to spread. Canoga Park, Sherman Oaks, and Encino have each had 9 or more mosquito bite samples that have been tested positive for the virus this year. County health officials say the valley historically has higher rates of West Nile virus. 3 deaths have been reported, and 69 people have been infected throughout the Los Angeles County. Health officials are urging people to wear mosquito repellent containing EPA-registered active ingredients.
A man has been charged in connection with the abduction of a University of Virginia student. Jesse Leroy Matthew Jr. is charged with false information and being a fugitive of justice. Police found Matthew on a Texas beach yesterday afternoon. The license plate of his vehicle matched the car that was involved in the case. 18-year-old Hannah Graham has been missing since September 12th. The investigation into her disappearance remains in progress.
The LAPD is still looking for 23-year-old CSUN student Abdullah Al-Qadi. It has been 8 days since Al-Qadi was last seen on Reseda Boulevard. CSUN President Diane Harrison released an email saying his whereabouts are still unknown. The university has contacted Al-Qadi's family and will update them with any new information. Anyone with knowledge of his absence can call the police department's missing persons unit.
A gas leak broke out here at CSUN. Matador News reporter Vanessa Escalera is live in the newsroom with more on what happened.
Campus police say it was not a fire nor a gas leak that caused the evacuation from Eucalyptus Hall. The fumes from the laboratory on the 3rd floor caused the alarm to sound off in the building. The building has specified signs by the laboratories to designate appropriate levels of chemicals. It is still being investigated what went wrong with the equipment in the lab during the use of the chemicals. Students were allowed to go back in Eucalyptus Hall after a couple of minutes outside. Now back to Aracelly with more news.
In Missouri, Ferguson Police Chief Thomas Jackson has issued an apology to the parents of Michael Brown.
No one who has not experienced the loss of a child can understand what you're feeling. I'm truly sorry for the loss of your son. I'm also sorry that it took so long to remove Michael from the street.
Jackson also apologized to any peaceful protesters who feel he didn't do enough to protect their constitutional rights. He also said the investigating officers meant to no disrespect to the African American community. And in Southern California, a 51-year-old woman has reached a $1.5 million settlement with the CHP after being beaten by an officer. A passing motorist caught the attack on tape. The officer will resign as part of the settlement. And in South Carolina, an officer is caught on the police car's camera shooting a man after he reached in the car for his driver's license.
Can I see your license, please? Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get on the ground!
The officer has been fired and charged with aggravated assault and battery. The man survived the shooting.
Here at CSUN, students are reacting to events surrounding police violence. Does that even mean?
I was pulled over. I felt like I was being maybe targeted, maybe because of my race. I felt it. There was a lot of hostility.
Okay, like because the police are just trying to keep order, but but to do that, a lot of times they have to kind of bend your civil rights.
Now let's go to Phillip Sugarman with health.
Thank you, Aracelly. A new report by the Centers for Disease Control shows U.S. infant mortality rate is the fourth highest among the world's most developed nations. The CDC report says the U.S. had nearly 24,000 deaths in 2011. And in Texas, 45 more infants have been added to a list of infants diagnosed with tuberculosis. And at an El Paso hospital, more than 700 infants are on this list after an employee came to work last year with an active case of the disease. The health department says more than 350 appointments for tuberculosis screenings have been made. The Commonwealth Fund reports a large increase in healthcare coverage among Latinos. Since the passing of the Affordable Care Act, the percentage of Latinos not covered by insurance fell 13%. The report shows a large number of Latino families in poverty qualify for government subsidies. The second enrollment period begins in November, and state officials are looking to enroll more Latinos by reaching out to their communities. Now let's go to Natali Castillo with business news.
The market is in a slump today. Apple has fallen 3.54% since the release of its new phone software, iOS 8. iPhone users are reportedly having too many making calls and text messages. Durable good orders significantly fell, more than 18% in August. The lower demand for aircraft and heavy machinery is mostly responsible. Unemployment applications were up 12,000 in the last week. The total count of applications is at 293,000, but not all market prices are sinking. The value of U.S. government bonds is rising. At last check, the DOW Jones was at 222 points. India's Mars mission is successfully orbiting around the red planet. India is the first nation to get to Mars on its first attempt. The Indian Space Research Organization is posting images of the red planet on Facebook and Twitter. The $74 million mission costs less than the Oscar-winning film Gravity. The purpose of the mission is to study the atmosphere of the red planet. Now let's go to Phillip Sugarman with what's happening in sports.
The Los Angeles Dodgers is celebrating their victory over the San Francisco Giants. Clayton Kershaw took the mound and led the Los Angeles Dodgers to a 9-1 victory over their rivals, the Giants, to win the National League West title for the second straight year. The probable Cy Young Award winner and MVP candidate allowed 1 run, 8 hits, and 11 strikeouts in 8 innings. He is trying to become the first MLB player to lead the major leagues in ERA for the 4th consecutive year. The Dodgers snapped the 1-1 tie in the 6th inning with a leadoff home run by Yusei Puig. Carl Crawford's 2-run double off Javier Lopez and Juan Uribe's RBI single off Gene Machi helped close out the Giants for a 5-1 lead. The Dodgers are expected to play the St. Louis Cardinals in the best-of-5 games division series beginning a week from tomorrow. One CSUN student is optimistic that the Dodgers will win the World Series.
I think it was great. I think Clayton Kershaw deserves the MVP, and yeah, I think this is their year. This is LA's year.
The Dodgers will play the Colorado Rockies tomorrow. Kevin Ward Jr.'s family is going to file civil damage charges against Tony Stewart for Ward Jr.'s death during a sprint car race. Ward's family believes that Stewart caused the incident by sliding his car into Ward and intimidating him. The family seeks damages after a jury decided to not pursue criminal charges against Stewart for Ward Jr.'s death. The incident occurred on a dirt track race on August 9th in New York. The New England Patriots are having a hard time throwing the ball downfield this season. Patriots quarterback Tom Brady is 3 for 21 on deep passes in 3 games. Brady is on pace to get sacked 37 times. He has not been taken down that much since his first full season as a starter in 2001, when he got sacked 41 times. The Patriots are ranked 23rd in the NFL with a 39% third down conversion rate. The running game has also been on a decline, with an average of 3.5 yards per rush. Now, let's go to Natali Castillo with entertainment news.
Modern Family actress Sarah Hyland gets a restraining order against her ex-boyfriend Matthew Prokop. Her lawyers say she feared for her life after he bombarded her with threatening and disturbing texts and voicemails. The former Disney Channel stars met while auditioning for Disney's big hit High School Musical. The 23-year-old actor went to rehab in August. Prokop's representatives have not yet commented on the case. 2 donkeys at a Poland zoo are back together again after being separated for a week. Zoo officials had to separate the 10-year-old couple after some visiting parents said they did not want their children witnessing the lovers' meeting. Animal experts warned the donkeys' separation could affect their mental health. And over 7,000 people signed a petition after seeing Napoleon and Antonia's love story on national news in Poland. After acknowledging their mistake, the zoo put both donkeys back in the same pen. Now back to Aracelly and Charne.
Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Aracelly Solis.
And I'm Charne Ingram. Have a great day.